The next session, I want to cover with you guys a system that generated over $4.7 million cash with under 10K followers. This is going to teach you guys how to turn your Instagram into a sales system that converts cold traffic into high ticket clients on autopilot. All right. Just to give you guys a little bit of context before we go into this. All right. Over this session, we're going to be breaking down the overall big picture. And then over the next following sessions, we're going to be going much deeper into every single topic. For example, stories. Stories absolutely print.
Yeah, they do.
They fucking print. And here's the thing. I want to give you guys a quick story. I didn't figure this out by accident. I engineered it by losing everything twice. All right. As you can tell, we're all fucking, like, some of the guys that made a lot of money in this room are degenerates. And when they make a lot of money, they tend to make a lot of fucking mistakes. All right. And I'm one of them, openly. All right. Everyone here wants one thing, which is predictability. Even if you hit a 10K month or a 20K month or a 30K month or even a 100K month, doing it once is cool, but doing it predictably time and time and time again is one of the best feelings in the world. And this is the exact system that made my business predictable. All right. So at 18 years old, I hit a milestone that most entrepreneurs dream of. So from the earlier screenshot where I showed you negative 22 pounds in my bank account, very embarrassing. Remember, I went to fucking grocery store, tapped my card, it declined, and the machines are very loud. Right? They announced it all fucking well. They want to let everyone know that you can't decline. And by 2019, you turn it around, you can't see it's blurred out, but it says over 16 cash account. It's crazy because they didn't even upgrade my account. I had over £138,000 liquid that I stacked from my online business, essentially. But here's the crazy part. As soon as I hit that milestone, I had that position for about 2 months, and I proceeded to lose it all and end up with 20K worth of debt. And the way that happened is, I wanted to buy my first car, but I didn't want to be average. I was like, I don't want a Vauxhall fucking Corsa, I don't want a Toyota, I want a Mercedes. And I could avoid cash, but like an idiot, I financed it, and I ended up being in 20K worth of debt and losing all my money for a few risky bets, okay? So it pissed me off, as you can imagine. Felt rich, felt like I could travel anywhere in the world, do anything that I wanted. So naturally, I doubled down on my caffeine addiction. As you can see, it's bad, okay? Now I'm telling you guys that the caffeine junkies as well. And naturally, I decided to double down, declared more of my business, and started working relentlessly. And that hard work paid off to some degree. In 2021, I hit my first $1 million, got the cool little clip-on award. There's still a video of me on YouTube unboxing this thing. And I purchased 2 Rolexes to celebrate, right? Worth over 100K. The day. So I spent about 45K on that. Anyways, it was about $100,000. I bought it at all-time highs. And I even landed my first 30K client. It was fucking sick. It was December time. My first 30K client paid me to fly out to them and coach them in Dallas, which is a crazy experience. It was my first time in the States. And I felt unstoppable. I was like, I'm the shit. I paid $1 million. I got the ClickFunnels plaque, got 2 rollies. And on that trip, guess what? Ended up getting robbed. So I'll never go back to LA again. So December 2021, we got robbed. And unfortunately, they stole laptops, rollies, bunch of stuff. And losing over 100K twice was extremely painful because every sales call I took, every DM I sent, every piece of content that I ever posted, just felt like it went to waste. And it was like an extreme punch in the gut. Felt like hard work's gone to waste. But it taught me a very, very valuable lesson, as I'm sure most of your losses teach you, right? And that's the fact that I need to stop surviving off hustle and start building something that can actually survive without me and have systems in place. So I came back from LA, I teared apart my entire business, everything we was doing as far as sending out DMs, so on and so forth. And I rebuilt the system from scratch. 1 month after, cracked my first 100K month. January 2022, we cracked our first 100K month, which is a very fucking long time ago. It's like 3 years ago now. And of course, you know, we had more payments and wires and stuff like that. Fast forward to just under $5 million cash collected. So my big realization through all of this is you don't scale by hustling harder. Now, of course, it took me 2 times of fucking losing everything to figure this shit out. You scale by building machines that work harder than you. You need to stop trying to outwork your problems and start engineering your business like a machine. Because oftentimes, whenever we take a loss, we get pissed off. We want to work twice as hard to make back that loss. But I want to show you guys the machine that rebuilt my business and is now generating $5 million. But before I do that, it comes down to these layers that you need to understand. This isn't a funnel, it's a conversion operating system, okay? So the $4.7 million client conversion OS runs across 5 separate layers that we're going to be breaking down. The first one is the Instagram profile funnel, right? So even if you guys are running ads right now or doing things organically, the Instagram profile funnel is going to help you weaponize your IG profiles to land a shitload of more clients that pay you way more money, all right? Number 2, we have the Instagram story funnel. Now, personally, I've cleaned up a lot of money from story sequences, as I'll show you guys in the future section. I've seen Will clean up $80,000 in a single day from story sequences as well. So they're very, very powerful. Then we'll cover some conversion systems. Okay, this is DMs. This is your bottom of funnel assets, i.e. your YouTube funnels. Because my knowledge with YouTube is slightly limited, I brought in some fucking experts for you guys. All right. And then, of course, paid ads, the thing that you guys broke down. Some of you guys have a bottleneck with learning paid ads. Even if you guys are complete beginners, I'm going to show you guys some banging strategies that you can use with paid ads that will help you become wildly more profitable, much more predictably. All right. And last but not least, we have strategic scaling, which is your team, systems, and offers. But it's cool stuff. I know that stuff sounds boring. It is from time to time, but it's very profitable if you strategically use it in the center of your business. And when you fix the weak layer, you're going to end up fixing the entire system. And these are the 5 layers that we're going to be building across this Boston. Every single session plugs into one of these, all right? But underneath all the 5 systems, the same conversion physics are running, all right? And the reason I wanted to break this down first is because people categorize everything separately. They think like profile funnel, Instagram stories, everything's different, but it has the same operating system underneath it. So the engine itself is made up of these 3 flows, all right? You have traffic, which flows into the top of your funnel, okay? You have middle funnel, which builds conviction, okay? Because when you get those new eyeballs, remember, these are complete strangers that don't know you guys, okay? So the most important thing is building conviction with these people. And you'll notice as time goes on, I know Yasser, you were saying this earlier, like learning about sales. Sales is nothing but a certainty transfer, right? And when you can learn how to use your middle funnel to build more conviction, you're going to make infinitely more money, all right? And then bottom of the funnel, which is where you cash collect, all right? Now, the part where most people completely fuck up, and this is what I did by buying a bunch of Rolexes, flying out, buying expensive shit, is people forget to reinvest the profits from the bottom of the funnel back into the top of the funnel, right? So if you notice, big companies like Apple, right, what do? They make a shitload of cash, reinvest it right back into the top of the funnel, and now they have a machine that runs itself. And the thing is, in the info space, not many people do that. They know that rule, they upgrade their lifestyle standards, stuff like that. I've been guilty of doing it, all right? But the main thing I want to help you guys figure out before we get into it is to figure out which part of your funnel is actually broken, all right? Because typically, just like when you go to a doctor, all right, and you see symptoms, those symptoms are associated with a particular disease, okay? So if you're sitting in your business right now and you don't have enough traffic, typically your top of funnel is broken, okay? I'm going to diagnose specifically how to fix that as well. If you have no leads, all right, or no qualified leads, then again, that's to do with your middle funnel, right? Your middle funnel is broken. And if you're struggling to get conversions within your business, then your bottom of funnel is weak and needs repaired, right? And the most important thing is being hyper aware of which one is broken at all times and focusing on solving one at a time. Because if you try to solve all 3, you're going to fuck up, right? But if you solve one at a time, it's going to be a lot better for you guys. And when you nail this flow, you don't chase leads. Leads are going to end up chasing yourself, all right? So let's break down each of these layers one by one. As mentioned previously, top of funnel is the attention space, okay? And the thing is, you don't want to get seen by a bunch of people. And most people make the mistake. I want to get seen by more people, more people, more people. The reason we're able to recognize small followings, for example, Kennedy, right? She made 30 G's in 30 days. The reason why is because she got seen by the right people, okay? So the issue that most people experience, and this is why I'm going to talk about Instagram profile funnel, is getting seen by the right people without first being positioned. Is like going to a $1 million business deal naked, right? You don't want to do that. You want to show up as the best self. So the most important thing that you must master first is how to actually position yourself. And most people screw this up. So I looked at some researches and some studies, and it takes the human brain 0.05 seconds to form a first impression of you online, right? Now take that into consideration. That's exactly what your prospects are doing to you guys. Every time they click on your profile, every time they see your ad, it takes them 0.05 seconds to form a first impression. So there's 5 questions that your buyers are subconsciously asking themselves the second that they land on your profile. First one is, who are you? Number 2, what you can do for people. What can you do for me? Because people are selfish. They want to know what's in their best interest. Do I like you? Can I trust you? And will this work for me? All right? So I want you guys to do a quick little exercise, okay? Open up your IG profiles right now and ask yourself, does your profile instantly answer these 5 questions? Guys, looking up your IG profiles?
Oh, I know that now.
I know my shit. I should do.
All right. And if it doesn't, of course, we're going to show you guys the best way to fix it. All right. So these are the 5 questions. If you guys want, you guys can take a picture of this. Later on, I'm going to give you guys a resource associated to this anyways. The last one is super important, by the way. Would people assume that you're expensive? And I'm going to show you guys a crazy little experiment that we're going to do within the room right now. Okay? So the truth is, your Instagram profile is your landing page, your website, and your first sales call all in one screen. So I want to try a quick exercise with every single person in the room. Let's test how fast our brains really make these decisions. Based on this profile, okay? How much do you think this guy charges for coaching or consulting?
100K minimum.
$999.99. $999.99.
Okay, you got 100K, got
No, that was a joke. Sure, I guess.
$1,000, 5K,
$1,000 no.
5K,
2K.
2K,
3.
3, okay,
Oh, I didn't
I
see
think he
it.
charges hourly like $100, $60 an hour.
okay, interesting.
No, I take it back 5K. I didn't see the first price.
Yeah, I'm bear. Okay, it's a bear. He's flexing in the forest with a bear. Okay, tell me. 10K, cool. So high ticket price points all across the board, right? Now, based on this profile, how much do you think this person charges for coaching with its all? 100 an hour.
100 an hour though.
100 an hour.
1K.
Definitely.
1K, yeah, 1K. $500. All right, so low ticket, right? You guys automatically assume it's cheap based on this profile. Here's a crazy part. Neither of them have the offer, okay? But obviously, Ben was willing to pay the guy 10K, so Ben, crazy. Okay. So you guys see what just happened? You'll judge price, value, and credibility without reading a word. And that's what your audience is doing to you every single day, right? So if perception alone created that much value, imagine what happens when you design it intentionally. That's exactly what we did. So I'm going to show you how to build a profile that makes people feel the same confidence about you before they ever see your offer, right? Whenever I open up my Instagram profile, I take it to random people. I'm like, how much do you think I charge? They always throw some mad price quotes in, which is good, okay? That's what you want. So before we even talk about getting traffic, okay, what you want to do is you want to be able to position yourself, because you know what happens when you get traffic without positioning yourself first? You accelerate rejection. It's kind of like ads. When you run ads without having the right systems in place, you accelerate the death of the business. Similar with position. So there's 3 layers of your profile funnel that I want to break down individually with you guys. Guys, can we close the door, please? Thank you. So layer 1 is your pin posts. These are known as your authority anchors, okay? Every single Instagram profile that I personally ever built has these 3 layers in place. Pin post number 1 is who you are / your story. Pin post number 2 is what you do / your process. And pin post number 3 is truth and results. And what you're going to realize is they subconsciously answer those questions the minute someone lands in your profile. For example, who are you? Why can I trust you? How do I know you can actually help me? How do I know you can deliver that result for someone else? So my pin post number 1 is your story, okay? This is very top of funnel. I strategically look at the 3 pin posts as top of funnel, middle of funnel, and then bottom of funnel. So the minute someone lands on your page, it's the fastest way to convert them from a complete stranger into an actual client, right? So your pin post number 1 creates an emotional connection. By the way, at the end of this, I'll give you guys a little framework to put your own ones together. But it creates emotional connection. So imagine, after you're a PT, right? So imagine your pin post has a before and after of you, completely fat and out of shape, and now you're fucking shredded, right? And you talk about your struggles. For example, I was fat, I was out of shape, couldn't get no bitches, right? I was struggling. Didn't know what workouts to do. I tried keto, tried tracking my calories, had no accountability, blah, 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 blah. You mirror the exact journey that your prospects are going through, right? And then I tried X diet, Y diet, none of it worked until I stumbled across this key thing. When I stumbled across that, in 4 weeks of implementing it, I received X result, right? I was 10K in uni, they just started DMing me, so on and so forth, right? That story that you portray within your first pin carousel is going to instantly show your ICP. Fuck, this guy's gone through exactly what I'm going through right now. Meaning, he's qualified to help, right? So it builds that emotional bond. Plus, I was checking this yesterday, I think like 85,000 people have seen this, which is nuts, right? Pin post number 2 is your framework and your unique process. This is middle of funnel. So now that someone knows who you are, right? They know that your story mirrors their one. They know that they can relate to you. The next thing they're gonna want to know is, can this person actually help me? Does this person have the right steps in order to actually help me achieve the transformation? And this is where you want to showcase your unique process and framework. So oftentimes, whenever I coach about clients, the number 1 question I get asked by a lot is, how do I get people to trust me? It's the same way that you get people to trust you if you open up a brand new restaurant. Let's say you open up a pizza spot down the street and you claim that you guys have the best pizza in the world. And it's genuinely good, like most of you guys offers. if I've never tried that pizza, I can't validate your claims, right? So the fastest way to build trust is to give me a free slice of your pizza, let me have a taste, and then if it's good, I'm gonna want to buy from you anyways, right? So it's all a part of your processes that you can use and package up to showcase what you do with clients. So the question is, how do you do that with coaching, right? If you guys are coaching Heights, how can you package up your process and show people before they ever buy coaching? Well, the way you do it is by recording a few clips. So in my example, one of the things that I charge clients for is how to weaponize your Instagram to land more clients. So an extension of that is profile reviews, right? It's like a mini audit of someone's profile. And if I'm publicly doing profile audits of other people that are creators, coaches, fit within my ICP, then it's going to attract people. It's going to show that, hey, this guy knows what the fuck he's talking about. I also see this same pain point within my process, right? And a few examples around the room. So Afnan, you're a PT. How could you implement something like this? For example, told this to one of my fitness clients. I was like, look, if you took a before and after of your client's physiques, someone was completely fat and out of shape, and then you showed the after, and you showed like a little Miro board, right? Of their previous physique, how their abdomen looked, how their arms looked, how their back looked, how their face looked, and you start circling shit, right? You start circling their jawline and show the physical transformation of the entire process. That's gonna sell people in your process, right? And you can insert like the exact steps that you use within your coaching to help that client make a transformation of why they work, right? Because once you sell people on the why, people buy, right? If you're constantly selling on the how, people are never gonna buy from you because everyone else can sell the how. People buy into your why, right? People wanna know why Afnan's process works better than everybody else's. So once you nail the first two, your top of funnel and your middle funnel, the next thing that you wanna nail is proof, right? Because now people know who you are, they've related to your story, and they know your process, they've seen what it looks like, but what they want to know is, can you actually duplicate those results for them? So my third pin post, if you click on it, on my profile, is me standing there saying, hey, you're not the best if you say you're the best, you're only the best if other people say you're the, and it cuts the value saying, best mentor, da 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 da. And it's a client montage of people saying, Mandy, 100K, $1 million, da da da, right? And instantly, if that's the first top 3 row of your Instagram, how many more conversions do you think you guys are going to get? Fuck it, right? Even Cameron, for you, like I see your ads religiously fucking following you around. When people click on your ad, the number one thing they draw to you is your profile. If you have these things weaponized and in place, you're going to get fucked with more conversions, or at least more inbound DMs, right? So, you guys don't have to do this right now, okay? But if you want, you can open up your Instagram. If you want to audit whether your top 3 pin posts tell a stranger who you are, what you do, and why you're the best at it, all right? So the second layer of your Instagram profile, once we've nailed the pin videos, is your grid of trust, okay? Because 80% of people decide whether to follow you or not within the first 3 seconds of scanning the first 2 rows. So for me personally, and there's a massive argument about this in the info space, I have my hot take on it, all right? Most people are like, should I put my reels in the reel tab? Or should I put my reels in my main tab? Personally, I feel like reels look very cluttered, okay? Unless your credit might. Your profile looks fucking sick, okay? But the point of the matter is, I personally feel like a picture tells 1,000 words. So you want to strategically lay in your grid of trust. So if you look at Will's profile, it's a good example. Will has him buying his dad a Porsche. I joined the Porsche Club as well.
Hey, good man.
So, end of the day, people now know when they click on someone like Will's profile, this guy has built his success to a stage where he can go out there and help other people, right? If you look at my one, you'll see me putting my abs on display, right? Speaking at a mastermind on a jet ski, but it facilitates trust amongst people, right? And also it creates curiosity because they don't instantly figure out who I am. They figure out the byproduct of the success first. They're like, this is something that I would like to do. How the fuck do I do it? And it makes them want to research your profile and learn a little bit more. Creates a curiosity in you, all right? Layer number 3 is your highlights, i.e. trust and demand. So for me personally, I used to be that guy, okay? Dubai, fucking Italy, bunch of cities, and I used to have all my freaking vacation dumps, like one Instagram baddie. And I realized that was good for my ego, but it wasn't really good for business and client acquisition. So I changed it, kept it simple, my wins, client wins, lifestyle, where I cover relatability and values. So highlights the hidden gold mine that most people ignore because they act as an instant case study library, which is available 24/7. Now, here's an extra tip. If you guys have setters, okay, if you guys are doing DM setting yourself, I personally like to get my setters to use this, right, in conversations. So if someone's a little bit on edge and they're like, but you guys actually for real, you guys legit, hey, you can check out more client wins like this from my highlights. And we just send the traffic to them, right? Sometimes when Zane's on sales calls, we open up the fucking highlights tab and walk them through it step by step. So it's like a case study library that's available to you 24/7, and that works incredibly well, right? So number one is buy wins, proof of your own authority, right? So if you click on my Instagram bio, you'll see I help coaches scale to 50 to 100K a month. And in order for me to be able to promise a result like that, I have to be able to have done those things for myself. So as you can see, I've got Stripe screenshots where it's like £83,000 in 4 weeks. It's over $100,000. 10K in 24 hours, 23K in 24 hours today, right? Number two, client wins. Proof that you can actually replicate success. So it's all well and good you having results for yourself, but people want to know whether you can actually replicate that success for them, right? So I used to double down way too much on my results, not enough on client results, and that caused the breakage of trust. And you notice that on Salesforce, right? So as you can see, one of my clients, his first $1 million cash collected. Another client, $1 million cash collected. Another client, $15,000 in a day. So now, as people go for my client wins or my story highlights, they're like, okay, this guy gets a shitload of results for himself, gets a shitload of results for other people as well. And you guys want to incorporate that within the highlights as well. Number three, lifestyle. Proof that you live what you teach, okay? So for me, I go for a very specific ICP. I like to repel brokies, okay? And in order for me to repel brokies, you know, I showcase some of the things that I like to get up to. I'm into the finer things in life, and most of the clients that I have are into the finer things in life as well, all right? So these three stats confirm what you actually promise in your bio. Everything on your profile should answer 3 silent questions. And when you optimize this correctly, you're never going to have an issue going across with complete strangers. You're going to double your DM inbound rates as well. First one is, sure.
I have a question. If you would have to define only one of those, like, can I trust you? Can I help me? Like, what is the one thing that you would focus on if you only could focus on one instead of 3?
The thing is, I feel like focusing on 3 is crucial because they feed into each other. For example, if someone now trusts you based off like your story, they resonate with it, so on and so forth, but they don't believe that you can help me, they're going to like your stuff, they're going to follow you, but they're never really going to want to pay you money to hire them. You know what I mean?
100%.
So I feel like the 3 just work in conjunction with each other really, really well.
But if you would have to make like one, what is it like?
Okay.
All of those people here,
Yeah.
think about, okay, could only would be one thing that makes me stand out.
Yeah.
Based on your experience, what is the thing where you feel like, even though all of them are important,
Yeah.
what is the most important one?
I would really focus on, it's hard. It would either be, can I trust you or can you help? Right? Because even if someone wholeheartedly believes that you can help them, but they don't trust you though, they're never going to hire you. So I feel like trust above everything else is the one that clicks with people. Because if people trust you, even if they don't fully understand how you can help them, they're still willing to hire you, right? Like we have prospects on sales calls sometimes where they're not fully sold on the exact process or the exact ins and outs of the process, but because they trust us, they will still sign up. So I'd say singularly, that's probably the most valuable one out.
Interesting. And what is the thing that, oh, sorry.
You better go, bro.
No, I just want to ask, what is the like first thing that makes people not trust you, so to say? What is the biggest mistake people could do where you, from experience, say you ruin, like from the first like impression, the potential of trust that someone could build to you?
I feel like it's not what you do, it's what you don't do that causes like a lack of a trust, right? Because a lot of the time, like unless you're one of those fucking scammers, right? Like, you know, you're posing in front of like rented mansions and rented Lambos and stuff. That can build distrust, okay? So guys, don't fucking rent Lambos and villas and start posing for them, all right? It's not gonna fucking help you. But I would say it's what you don't put out there. So if you don't put out enough client results, people have no data based to go, right? Like there's a really, really good book called Propaganda by Edward Benet. Have you guys ever read that book? Yeah? So we as like creators, we create our own propaganda, right? And what propaganda is, that book very well explains the concept of how we get our thoughts, right? And most people think we can just come up with our own thoughts on the fly. But it's not how it works. The way our brain creates thoughts is like data that's given to us. Whether that's conversations, whether that's environment, whether that's news, whether that's social media posts, and that's all propaganda. And most of the time, fucking circle of people, you know, using that propaganda to push you towards whatever they want you to do. But you can engineer your own propaganda. It's not necessarily a bad thing. All it is you feeding specific data to the human brain that causes them to want to take a specific action, right? So if you show someone a client result, they're like, all right, cool, well, I trust this guy. I know that he can help me, right? show someone your story, then again, it shows someone that, well, this guy's been in the same position as me, so you likely understands.
That's
You know what I mean?
really helpful. Nice.
Solid.
Yeah, I was going to say, so in the event you have two different ICPs, you know, you've got people that you need to sell not only on you being the best person to help them, but the model.
Yeah.
And then you've also got people that are already in the model. How do you make sure that you resonate with both ICPs in your content? Because right now I'm in this limbo of like, okay, I want to focus on these people because they're a bigger market, but these people make me more money with less time. How would you differentiate that, and how would you compile it into one Instagram profile?
So, can you give me an example of the two different ICPs?
Yeah, so for example, let's say we've got Stacy, who's 36,
Yeah.
who's in corporate, who makes like 100K a year,
Yeah.
that sees this like AI thing, she wants to make money with it, right?
Yeah.
I need to sell her on the model. I also need to sell her on me being the best person to help her start the business.
Yeah.
Then we've got John, who's already making 50K a month,
Yeah.
running an agency.
Yeah. So from my personal experience, I kind of had the same issue, right? Like when I first got into the coaching space, I was like, well, I can target people that have never heard shit about the info space, tell them like, you can package up your knowledge. But I kind of felt like I was speaking to absolute beginners. There were some things that I would talk about within my content that would almost be like, for me, it would feel like brainwashed. You know what I mean? Like I have to explain such fucking basics.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah, and I didn't enjoy that. So what I did is just cut the first ICP out, and I just focused on one. Because you realize it's almost like the best example I can give you is trying to sell a car to someone that's never bought a car before. You feel like you're explaining what a door handle is, like what a tire is, what a fucking engine is, and so on and so forth. Versus selling a car to someone that already owns one, drives it around, but the car is just shit. You just need a bigger upgrade. It's so easy to sell to the second ICP. So I personally wouldn't mix the two. I would just focus on the one that's more profitable, less time, less energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Alternatively, like if you want, one of the things that you could do is create like a separate YouTube channel around the beginners, but that's if it's worth the time to do so. I think if you just focus on the high leverage one, you're gonna make more money. You know what I mean?
Right now, you're speaking a lot about my wins, authority, showing the lifestyle, everything like aspirational stuff. However, do you ever focus, and what your opinion is on like speaking about your failures, your mistakes, things that make you more relatable and build potentially trust that you've gone through the shit as well? So like, which ones do you focus on more? Like,
So for story highlights, I'll just focus on the wins.
Okay.
For the pin post specifically, through your own story, you really hammer down on what your losses are, the same pain points that you've experienced, and within your content itself, you want to have a mix, right? So this is more about how you position the actual profile itself to build more trust and authority. But as far as content goes, you definitely want to incorporate like content where you talk about your losses, certain problems that you're experiencing, so you feel more human to the ICP as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For my case, would you say just completely sack off trying to book clients in and just become an online barber coach?
So
Still target the clients? Because obviously I seen people booking in neatly as well.
Yeah.
But I want to target the online high ticket people.
So
Kind of same what Cameron said, similar to that.
So the truth is, yeah, for your case, you could very easily just still create content. Like right now, like the content that works really well for you is when you critique other people's haircuts. You're basically shitting on the barber. But that brings you clients because they're like, well, if this barber can basically see the mistakes that other barbers made, he knows his shit. You know what I mean? And it's a content like formula that already works for you. It's a series that you've created that people tune into. You know what I mean? Like every time I see your videos, I'm watching it. Mistake that this guy made.
But that's the thing is, that one, it obviously it's two people. It hits obviously the barbers and the customers. Or selling that video, I know run with what works, but I'm gonna have to switch the talk. As well as that, it's like in my bio, I've got barber, I've got online coach. Then it's like there's too much going on. Do you know what I mean?
So
I want to be quite simple. You land on my page, you know what I can do, how I can help you. If you're a customer, book a haircut. If you're not, get help. You know.
Solid. So what I would do, because you have two pages, you have 31 cuts, and then you have your main page. Yeah, I would separate the two. I keep one for like barbering booking inquiries, keep the other one linked specifically for barbers. So if you're a barber stuck under 10K a month and you want to be able to grow, here's how I can help you with X, Y, Z. And then my profile grid, I would just keep it at like the celebrity screenshots of barbers that you've caught. And in the Reels tab, I would have two series that constantly play, right? The first one is you obviously critiquing haircuts that other barbers did. And the second one is you critiquing Instagram profiles of other barbers, exposing why they don't get clients. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that will be the perfect mix between the two.
You get to reset that to me some other time so I can write it down.
I got you. No worry. You're going to get a replay of this anyways. So we'll take any more questions at the end. But now that you built a profile that looks like a 7-figure brand, let's talk about how to sound like one. Because looking like an authority gets people to follow you, but sounding like an authority gets people to actually buy from you, right? So what I want to teach you guys is a middle of funnel formula. This is a 3E formula, because the human brain just remembers everything in threes, all right? So it's education, emotion, and experience. So education creates curiosity, but only when it reframes, not when it teaches. It's a very fucking important thing that I want you guys to learn and understand, all right? So your audience don't need more information. If we want information, we don't have ChatGPT. You can go to ChatGPT and say, yo, it's the fastest way to do this. It's going to give way better answer in a much shorter time frame, okay? So what people actually need to get them to move is transformation, how they think. So don't post how-tos, right? Like 3 steps to doing this, blah, blah, blah. No one wants to hear that. People see that all the time, right? Post content that positions you as the only logical solution. I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. So before I break down my own personal example, let's go over to the fitness space again. Afghan, most people know they need to track their calories. Most people know they need to train consistently, correct? If you create a video on here's how to track your calories, would people ring pay attention? Fuck them, right? So why? It's because you need to reframe their thinking, okay? And an example of how you reframe someone's thinking is if you were to create a post, right? Let's say your ICPs were in their 20s and you create a post which is like, did you know that you are 85% less likely to pack on muscle after the age of 30? That reframes how people think, right? And as a result, it gets them to want to take action now. Now they're going to be more dialed in. Now they're going to be more tuned in to wanting to track their calories and getting into shape, right? Because you're not teaching them the how-to, you're teaching them the why behind it, right? So when you reframe someone's thought process, it's a lot easier to frame yourself as the only logical solution because you guys are competing with so many other people that sell the same shit, right? So, for example, my example, everybody in the content space, info space says post a bunch more content, right? Which is why I did a reframe. I'm like, here's why posting more videos is actually destroying your business. And it gets more attention, it gets people to lean in because it goes against the grain of what everybody else teaches. When I was at Will's Mastermind earlier this year, one of those valuable things I learned from Sabri Suvi. You guys know Sabri Suvi? Fucking legendary guy, bro. Bold guy, makes the sickest ads in the space. But the point of the matter is, he broke down a very valid point where he said, if you guys want to be successful in whatever space you want and you have competition, do the exact opposite of what everybody else does, all right? Second part of the middle funnel is your emotion, right? Focus on, yeah, go on.
Why would you do the complete opposite of everyone else?
Because then you're going to be like everybody else if you do the same exact thing as everybody else. You're going to be a commodity. Yeah. So, for example, the next thing you want to focus on is connection over perfection. This kind of ties into what you were talking about, right? People don't buy when they understand you, okay? And most people are so focused on making people understand them through social media and Instagram, right? They buy when they feel understood by you, right? So share the human moments behind your wins, the rebuilds, not just the results. So Ben, this is a good example. It's fat as fuck, right? It's me starting out on my journey. And of course, you know, I talk about, you know, where I started out, right? How I felt being broke, how it felt struggling with poor lead quality, how it felt struggling with no-show rates. Even if I have a bad bump sometimes, I'm not afraid to post it, right? Because I want people to see the losses as well as the wins. Because then when I post another win a month later, they're going to be like, fuck. You know what I mean? If you feel too perfect, people are never going to be able to relate to you. All right? So, number 3 is experience. This is conviction. Show the process, not perfection. So, showing the process is by far one of the most underrated things that a lot of people don't do enough. So, this is an example of a video where I broke down. You can post a video and I can talk about, oh, my client cost me $12K in 24 hours. It's cool, but people don't care, right? People care about what's in it for me. So I broke down the actual step-by-step process that we use. What does lead quality look like before? What does story views look like before? And how we generate this exact process for him, right? So if you want, again, you can do this at the end. I've got a workbook for you guys. One of the things that you want to focus on doing is opening up your IG and looking at your last 9 posts and label each one education, emotion, or experience. And what you're going to find is if everything on your page is education, your page is very logical, but it's lifeless, right? People don't care about going to a page and just learning a bunch of shit. They can do that anywhere else, right? If it's only emotional, then again, you're relatable, but you're not respected, right? And if it's only experience, you look busy but not strategic, right? You need all 3 because they all combine into each other. And once your content starts nurturing people, they begin to believe in you, right? Now comes the next phase, which is turning that belief into buying decisions. Because now you got top of funnel, right? You got middle funnel, where you're engineering belief. Now it's the final step, which is turning that belief into an actual buying decision. So where conversions happen, right? And this is where so many people fucking overcomplicate sales. So I'm going to show you how to make people close themselves before you ever hop on a sales call. It's pretty cool. So your bottom of funnel is proof, process, pitch. The bottom of funnel isn't where you sell. It's where you validate everything that they've seen so far. You guys ever seen that movie, Focus?
Yeah.
With Will Smith and Margot Robbie? Cool. So one of the things that they do is they launch psychological warfare in this movie, okay? And they want the guy at the end to pretty much pick a very specific number. And in order to get to do that, they subconsciously show him signs of the same number throughout the day. On the train, in a certain restaurant, put 3 forks next to each other, a bunch of wild stuff, right? And what you're going to notice is this is exactly what you're doing with your prospects. You're showing them strategic things on the way to the sales process. So by the time you make a pitch and make an ask and you've done the top of funnel, middle funnel correctly, it's going to be super easy to convert those prospects into actual clients. So proof isn't just screenshots. It's the pattern of transformation that kills objections before they're spoken, right? So one of the things that we often do is we write down the biggest objections that we get, right? Every single week, sit down with the closers and the setters and I ask them, I'm like, cool, what objections are we getting this week? Is it experience? Is it time? Is it da-da-da? And we figure out what these beliefs are. And then we engineer our content to specifically go out there and destroy these beliefs. So marketing takes care of most of that, right? And it puts less pressure on the sales team to go out there and close. So for example, Madam, 20 years old, 30K in 30 days, it destroys the belief that my audience might have, which is I might be too young. So if someone visits my profile, they're like, oh, I'm too young. When they see Vadim's testimonial, it destroys that, right? Mike and Lucas, who generated over $72,000 with me, right? With over 40K followers prior to working with me, kills the belief that I can only help people with a small following. Because I have significantly less followers than these guys. Now they have like 80,000 followers, right? So it destroys that belief that, hey, if this guy doesn't have a large following, chance he might not be able to help me. Kennedy, 30K in 30 days with 2K followers. It crushes the other objection and the flip side to that, which is I need more followers. Because a lot of people might be thinking within your sales process that, hey, maybe I need a lot of followers before I can work with this person. These are the internal dialogues that your prospects have. And in order for you to get access to this internal dialogue, you need to get the prospects on a sales call. And of course, collect that data and make adjustments to your business based on that. So people buy emotionally, but they need logic to justify, okay? And that's where your process comes in. When you show a repeatable system, combining your top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel, you eliminate the guesswork. The next thing I want to cover, which is very, very important, is 6 very key psychological triggers that close clients. This is crucial when in your bottom of funnel, all right? It's the exact reason why you guys are in this mastermind room today, okay? Believe it or not, I'll show you in a second. So, first of all, you have urgency, which is why now, okay? Most prospects are always going to be asking themselves, why now, all right? Number 2 is scarcity, will I miss it? Number 3 is exclusivity, is this for me? Number 4 is conviction, do they believe in it? And then certainty, can I actually do it, right? For example, sometimes I'll go to the store to buy something, and I might not really want that t-shirt that the lady's selling. But she might tell me that we only have one left. It's going to make me a lot more fucking likely to buy it because of the fact that there's still urgency there, right? And you guys are in the room because of these exact 6 triggers. So, for example, urgency. There's only 15 places for this mastermind. I know we kind of overbooked a little bit, but still, limited amount of people. Scarcity, will I miss it? It was November 21st, 22nd, 23rd. If you weren't here for these dates, you would have ended up missing it. Exclusivity, is this for me? Right? It's for coaches, agency owners, guys in the info space that want to scale. Of course, we got some barbers and dentists in the room as well. And Kyrie, do I understand it? Of course, it's going to be a 3-day mastermind, loaded with yachts, the most handsome guest speaker in the world. Some cool shit, right? On conviction, do you believe in it, right? Likely, prior to the mastermind, you saw the guest speakers, you saw myself, you saw previous replays through a previous mastermind. And again, all of these tick a psychological trigger in your head for you guys to want to purchase a ticket and be here today, right? Uncertainty, can I do this? You guys probably saw some wins from previous people, the mastermind, where I psychologically retargeted you with some wins from my Instagram stories for you guys to want to be here, right? Now, what if I told you you could automate these same 6 triggers 24/7? That's exactly what my YouTube funnel does. Now, I by no means have one of the biggest YouTube channels in the world. However, it prints, books calls, gets clients, and nurtures my audience, right? And it takes everything that we just covered, which is proof, process, and pitch, and it's evergreen, all right? So I used to be that guy that had my VSL in my bio. But I realized, oh, it's fucking booking course in the bio, right? People already do that. So what I realized is your bio is a funnel, okay? Now Google did a study, which I'm sure you guys have heard about in the info space, right? It's a 7-4-11 brand. And what they basically said is we're at the lowest point of peer-to-peer trust, meaning that people are the most skeptical that they have ever been in the history of history, right? So they conducted a study across hundreds and hundreds of businesses, and they calculated that in order to get the average client to spend money with you, you need to be able to go out there and get them to consume at least 7 hours of content. They need to meet you across 4 different locations, all right? And they need at least 11 touch points before they convert. So what I did is I was like, fuck, YouTube builds longer watch time, right? With a reel, they can watch 90 seconds of a YouTube video. Very easy to get to 7 hours, right? If you're using Instagram already, it doesn't cost you anything to set up your YouTube channel. And of course, you can create multiple touch points with stories, with your profiles, with your pin posts, so on and so forth, all right? So Instagram builds curiosity. Now, of course, you can convert on Instagram as well. But what YouTube does is it builds conviction. And these are the 5 YouTube videos that I've personally created that have converted out the 100 plus YouTube videos I've actually built, all right? So 4 or 5 video types is number 1, your story, right? Which builds authority. Number 2 is 3 case studies, right? At least having a minimum of 3 case studies, the more the better. You should ideally have a library of these within your YouTube channel. A system breakdown, which strategically walks people through your exact system. And you can customize this to how you want, right? For example, is it like you are part of like the dentistry model, right? But your process for Invisaligns might be significantly different to how someone else does Invisaligns, right? Like I'll give you an example. I just recently purchased, I don't remember how much it was. I think it was like 4 or 5K for Invisalign to my wife. And we were in between like 2 different places. One of the people showed me their system breakdown. The actual Invisalign center was charging $2,000 more. And they said, well, what we're going to do is we're going to allow you to take 3D scans of the teeth and take pictures every week. And they had this fucking whiteboard where they showed the teeth moving into place. It's a system breakdown. And that was one of the buying triggers that sold me, right? The next one is polarizing perspective, right? So again, if you're the same as everybody else, no one's going to buy it, right? Or very few people are going to see you as the clear choice. So the way you do that is by having your own polarizing perspectives. For example, I personally believe to work on my business. Nabil personally believes that you should fucking stay outside every single day. That's all polarizing perspectives. Each of them resonate to a different audience. Each of them will bring us a different caliber of clients, right? And then of course you have tactical training, where you literally give away stuff that you actually teach within your paid programs for free. And that builds a shitload of goodwill. So number 1, I actually made this video after watching Will's video, right? Dude, cheeky bastard. Yeah. So Will had a video pretty much explaining that he did like a, Will, was it 16 million exit? How much was it?
16.4.
Nice. Thanks for flexing on us. Thank you. You are. So, end of the day, I saw his video. I was like, this is a freaking unedited video. He's shooting me in his balcony. He gets fucking across the street to you. I could do the same shit. I pretty much pulled out my laptop, looked at Will's video, and then recreated it, right? I was like, broke dropout to making over $100,000 a month. Copy me, all right? This video got 2.3K views. I signed a fuckload of clients, right? And all I very simply did, there was no edits on this video. It was the most budget setup in the world. The camera was shit, right? Sat there, opened up freewhiteboard.com, and pretty much just started explaining my story from start to finish. And I had a soft call to action about 60% into the video, another one 30% into the video, and another one right at the end of the video. Funneled a bunch of people to my Instagram, funneled a bunch of people to book in a call, right? Number 2 is client case study videos. Now we use these and we weaponize this in so many fucking different ways. It's absolutely crazy. Later on in the session where we cover conversions, I'm gonna go much more in depth with this. But again, we record client case study videos. Even the clients that I have here in Dubai right now, we're gonna be doing a separate client day to record some client case study videos. But these print, you can use them in so many different formats, right? The thing is, most people don't realize that content is not about constant novelty. A lot of it is about constant repetition and reminders. Give you guys an example. Last year when I was hosting a mastermind, my own fucking friends, right? And Bill was sitting there, he's like, when are you hosting your mastermind again? And I was posting it every fucking day, right? And I was like, clearly I'm not posting it enough. So my point with that is just because you posted a client case study once doesn't mean you can't post it again and again and again, right? Your audience forgets. So you should leverage your case studies. Number 3 is systems breakdowns, right? So of course, based off those client case studies, you don't just have to post a client interview. You can actually break down the step-by-step process that you use to help that client get from A to B, right? And a really cool thing that you guys can do is off the back of your client interview videos, have that as an end screen. So that once people watch one video, they can now watch the second video and actually see the system breakdown, right? And you increase that watch time, i.e. you're in trust, right? Next is your polarizing perspective. So my example of this is 500 Instagram followers equals 100K a month. Here's why. Of course, the video tanked when it came to views. That's why I bought Will it. Not to speak to you guys, to get my own personal coaching out of him. But essentially, polarizing perspectives work incredibly well. And the tactical trains, right? These are specific videos that speak to your ICP, right? For example, this video should be with 5 viewing if you want to scale to 100K a month. I break down everything that people need to know in order to scale to 100K a month, right? So once you have those 5 videos, you have top of funnel traffic that actually converts, not random attention. You have your middle of funnel, which is content that builds belief and trust to the 3 E's. You have your bottom of funnel, which is your proof, process, and pitch that turns followers into clients. And YouTube, which is obviously your in-depth platform that compounds all of it. If you want, you wait. All right. When all these 4 layers click, your Instagram stops being a highlight reel and becomes a sales system that runs while you sleep. Your conversion OS is the architecture, but without a strong story funnel, i.e. your trust OS, nothing inside of it converts the way it should, right? So here's how this ties into the rest of the mastermind. So we just covered the profile funnel. We showed you how to position yourself as a 7-figure brand. Next, we're going to focus on story funnel, or we'll build a daily middle funnel engine. This is the ones that I'm personally most excited about. Stories train so fucking well. So fucking easy to sell. They take like 10 minutes, but they do wonders for your business, right? And then, of course, conversion systems. I have an entire war plan dedicated to how you guys can increase your conversions ridiculously. It's everything from DMs, bottom funnel, and how we turn belief into book calls. And then, of course, we're going to be covering some paid ads, all right? Now, Charlie Johnson will come in. He's going to do a little bit of a advanced section after lunch on paid ads. But, of course, I'll be covering it, and you have Will. Pick his brains as much as you want to make sure we get our money's worth. And, of course, strategic scaling, where we'll teach you how to build teams and systems so that this runs without you. All right? So if you guys want, you can scan this QR code. It unlocks your entire $4 million conversion funnel implementation hub. So it has scripts, breakdowns, frameworks for how you guys can basically implement your stuff and weaponize your IG profiles. You guys got it? Anyone didn't get it?
Can I resell this?
Can't be in. All right, guys, that's the end of the session. What we're going to do now, we'll go get some lunch, and then afterwards, Charlie Johnson will come in. He'll do a section on paid ads. And then I'll be breaking down story sequences often, and Will also be doing a section play as well. You guys enjoy that session? You guys get a lot out of it?
Thank you.
Cool.